You thought you knew crepes, but you were wrong. Clickbaity opening line and cue title card. This whole story requires you to know one basic fact. This is not a crepe.
Non, ce n'en est pas une.
It may look, smell, and taste like what you might call a crepe, but...
Ce n'est pas une crêpe, c'est une galette. La crêpe est sucrée. Par contre, la galette est un plat salé.
This distinction is a big deal, and you should listen to Jean-Paul, because Jean-Paul is the current Grand Commando of the Brotherhood of the Galette, whose headquarters are here in Pipreac, France, a city in the northern region of Brittany, or Breton, as they say here. This group, comprised of 25 members, has one purpose: to keep the tradition of the Breton galette alive and to protect the original recipe and its ingredients. So let's start at the beginning. What is a galette?
Une galette, c'est un plat donc, qui est fait avec de la farine de sarrasin et on y ajoute chez nous du gros sel de Guérande et également de l'eau. Et on peut éventuellement ajouter un œuf pour la pâte. Nous ne refusons pas de servir une galette avec du ketchup à l'intérieur quand ça nous est demandé par une personne, mais nous estimons que la galette, il y a certains produits que l'on peut ajouter avec et d'autres qui ne sont pas du tout avec notre culture et notre façon de voir les produits du terroir.
So what's the best way to serve a galette?
La galette complète, jambon, œuf, fromage, elle a vraiment un goût très particulier.
Clearly, you're wondering about the costumes. Don't worry, we asked.
La confrérie a été créée en 1998. Bien, notre costume nous permet de se distinguer par rapport aux autres confréries avec un costume qui est en rapport donc, avec le produit que nous défendons. Notre costume est de couleur verte, c'est en rapport avec donc, l'agriculture, la culture du blé noir. Sur nos manches, nous avons une reproduction brodée d'une fleur de blé noir. Notre chapeau est plat comme une galette. Et nous portons des gants pour le présenter beaucoup plus.
All of this is to say, with tradition comes a sort of responsibility.
On est unis parce que c'est vrai qu'on est un groupe de personnes qui s'entend à merveille, parce que c'est vrai que c'est un mec qui avait beaucoup et qui a d'ailleurs encore beaucoup d'importance chez nous.
Plus, this seems like a fun group to be a part of, right? Is this a sandwich? How about this? Or this? The answer is, well, it depends.
It's actually surprisingly complicated jurisdiction scheme.
That's Neil Fortin. He's a professor of food law. He wrote the book on it. Literally. Just what a sandwich is actually defined by the government. Federally, it's the USDA and the FDA. Defining something matters because it changes how it's inspected and regulated.
A hot dog is regulated by USDA, but a hot dog on a bun is regulated by FDA. A sandwich doesn't have actually a strict legal definition, it's more the common term.
That can lead to some heated arguments by sandwich purists. According to the USDA, the hot dog is not a sandwich, but the dictionary says it is. And so does the state of New York. New York is pretty inclusive on the sandwich question.
Hi, I'm David Greco. This is Mike's Deli in the real Little Italy of the Bronx. Our list of sandwiches is at least 50 sandwiches. We have the Bronx Tale, the Michelangelo, the Sophia Loren, the Raging Bull, the Yankee Big Boy. Come on, I'll make you one special. That's a New York sandwich.
According to the state's Department of Taxation and Finance, not only is a hot dog a sandwich, but so is a burrito. That's because a burrito counts as a wrap, which in New York is a sandwich. Okay, so what about this? It looks and acts like a sandwich.
Is an ice cream sandwich a sandwich? I would say an ice cream sandwich is a fanciful name rather than an actual use of the word sandwich in a traditional sense.
Fanciful name, delicious sandwich. The USDA disagrees, but what do they know? However a sandwich is defined, we know that they're all kinds of delicious.
Food law it's both simpler and much more complicated than it looks on the surface.
Thanks, Neil.
When you think of Sweden, what comes to mind? IKEA? ABBA? Maybe those delicious cinnamon rolls? But what about these? Swedish meatballs, right? Well, maybe not. Welcome to the meatball mystery. Let's cut straight to the chase. It's hard to make the Swedes angry, but on one fateful day, something happened that fired up the whole country. This tweet was sent from the official Sweden Twitter account. Swedish meatballs are actually based on a recipe from King Charles XII, brought back from Turkey in the early 18th century. Let's stick to the facts. Yikes. Did you catch that? The tweet said that Swedish meatballs actually come from Turkey. As you can imagine, the tweet went viral. Swedes were up in arms. It was picked up all around the world.
The Swedish government has admitted Swedish meatballs are actually Turkish. What?
No, that's not a fact. The facts is really interesting since we don't have any facts from that period.
Wait, who are you?
My name is Richard Tellström and I'm a food historian.
Okay, here's what we know. In the 1700s, Swedish King Charles XII lost a battle in the Great Northern War. He was forced to flee to the Ottoman Empire, where for several years he negotiated his return. The controversial tweet suggested that he brought back a local Turkish meat dish called koftas.
However, there is no documented interest from him in food, no mentioning of the meatballs there. They are not Turkish because we can't follow the origin of meatballs in the world. There is no zero meatball where everything started. Most likely origin of the meatball is a development in parallel ways, in parallel food cultures. Therefore, meatballs are very different all over the world, but they exist all over the world.
Today, it's one of Sweden's most popular dishes, traditionally served with mashed potatoes, a brown gravy, and a sweet lingonberry sauce.
Food gives us an example of how we are connected when it comes to culture. Food is a sort of cultural network.
So take pride in your meatballs, Sweden. And so should Turkey, China, Italy, and every meatball rolling country. Because if there's one thing the world can agree on, it's that meatballs are delicious.
When you think of Japanese cuisine, a few foods come to mind. Sushi. Did you know that salmon sushi is actually Norwegian?
Yeah, we did a story on that one.
Maybe you think of mochi.
We did that one too.
And tempura. But guess what? Tempura is actually a Portuguese dish.
Oh boy, here we go.
The Japanese tempura you know is done two ways, either with seafood or with vegetables.
Right, and the batter is light, made with cold water, wheat flour, and egg. Pretty standard.
This tempura can be found dating back to the end of the 16th century in Japan.
But as we know, Japan is much older than that. So why did it suddenly show up? The answer is Portugal!
Around 1543, a Chinese ship with 3 Portuguese sailors got off course and landed in Japan, on Tanegashima Island.
Fast forward a bit, and the Portuguese, because of this happy accident, are now trading goods and arms with the Japanese.
Then, in 1639, the Portuguese were kicked out of the country. A few things, however, remained, including a dish of battered and fried beans called peixinhos de horta.
E toda a gente sabe o que é peixinhos da horta.
That's Manuela Brandão, chef at Papa Sorda, one of the best spots in Lisbon to get peixinhos de horta.
Os peixinhos da horta consistem em feijão verde cozido, depois mergulhados em palme e fritos em óleo. Não é salgado, não é doce, é agradável. No século XVI, os portugueses ensinaram os japoneses.
Now, of course, over the past 400 years, Japan has put its own spin on the dish. But, you know, it's a fun fact next time somebody in your group orders tempura.
This is kombucha, real kombucha. That iced tea you buy in those expensive bottles, fermented and sweetened, it's good, but it's not kombucha. Somewhere along the line, the word was lost in translation. In Japanese, cha means tea. And this is kombu. This is the story of the real kombucha. First, the kombu. Kombu is a type of seaweed and a staple ingredient in Japanese cuisine. And Rishiri Island, off the northernmost tip of Japan, has become known for the kombu that grows here. Zenichi Kosaka is a third-generation fisherman.
取ってるものは昆布、ウニ、ナマコ、ホッケ等ですね。岩場に植わってて、長さはそうですね、2メートルから3メートルぐらいで、日本食の基本だと思うんで、昆布はなくてはならないものだなと思いますね。利尻が昆布に適している理由は、海水温と利尻富士から流れる湧き水だとか、やっぱり栄養分が多いのが理由ですかね。昆布食べると長生きできるっていう。
After kombu is harvested and dried, it can be used to make anything from soup to salad to garnish. But for our purposes, we're gonna make kombucha. Chiharu Hirakawa is a shop owner selling kombucha made from locally harvested kombu.
昆布の粉末のお出汁を楽しんでもらうためにお湯で溶いたお茶です。昆布茶の特徴は海のミネラルがたくさん豊富に入っていまして、体にとてもいいです。
I have to ask, do you know about American kombucha?
知らないです。はい。
Can you guess what it's like?
やっぱり日本と同じ昆布の粉末にお湯を注いで昆布茶だと私は思ってます。
Sorry, nope. But do you have any words for those seeking real kombucha?
そうですね。アメリカ人の方もですね、ぜひ日本の昆布茶を飲んでいただいて、昆布のうまさですね。純日本っていう昆布のお出汁を飲んでいただいて、日本のことをもっと好きになっていただきたいです。